I'd like to read for you chapter 22 from my book, Equilibrium, because it's only a tiny little chapter, it's only a couple of pages, but it's an important chapter in the book. And this chapter pretty much embodies my whole way of life, my whole approach to spirituality. And this is what I want for you, for everyone, for all Australian women and men and children as well, to find their own version of being spiritual, because it means so many different things to so many different people. There is no one size fits all. And I really do think that this chapter, it expresses that beautifully. So it's chapter 22, The Everyday You. In the beginning, it was vital that I dedicated as much time and energy as possible to my spiritual journey. The health of my entire being demanded it. It was all I ever thought about. I let spirituality and other worldly concepts swallow me whole. Through this immersion, I found a happiness and love for myself and for everything and everyone that exceeded my wildest dreams. Who knew life could be this good? However, as time went on and my healing journey progressed, I reached a point where I realized I couldn't maintain that previous state of immersion. I had lost myself, and not in a good way. Let me explain. As I ventured on through my spiritual awakening, I lost sight of who I really wanted to be. I immersed myself so deeply in spirituality and spiritual practices that I forgot about all the other things in life that bring me joy and that are important to me. You know, 80s pop music, sci-fi movies, vodkas and dancing, badminton, laughing at naughty jokes, cards nights. All these things make me who I am, not just spirituality. For a while I was trying so hard to fit in with the spiritual community, talking the talk and dressing a certain way. It felt so wrong, yet I couldn't work out why, because I knew I wanted and needed to embrace my spiritual journey. Now I realise that sometimes I want to dress and talk like a spiritual goddess, but most of the time I just want to be plain old me. Sometimes I wear flowy, flowery dresses and drape crystals around my neck, but most of the time I wear jeans or track pants and a comfy t-shirt. Sometimes I can talk all day about spirits and energy, and sometimes all I want to do is spend a day talking about trashy television shows and eating way too much chocolate. You may be destined to become a completely new you, or you may just need to integrate a few spiritual or self-care practices into your everyday life to enhance who you already are. I guess what I'm trying to say is, always be true to yourself. If you don't want to throw yourself wholeheartedly into becoming a deeply spiritual person, then don't. If all you learn after reading this book is to meditate occasionally and this brings you huge levels of happiness, fantastic. If all the spiritual talk makes you feel uneasy, but all the other self-care tips resonate and they end up transforming your life, wonderful. Or perhaps you embrace every element of this book and you find a deep inner peace and self-love you never realized you were capable of. Everyone's journey is different. We are all here to achieve different levels of consciousness and learn different things. Some people, after a spiritual awakening, may choose to sell everything so they can move to the bush, live off the land, and fully immerse themselves in sacred spiritual practices. Other people will simply choose to put more effort into being a little kinder to themselves and to others as they go about their day. You are who you are. No judgment, just acceptance. We are all entitled to feel happiness, love, and a sense of connectedness to ourselves and to others. I caught up with a dear friend recently who is struggling to feel spiritually connected and is putting a lot of pressure on herself and feeling a whole lot of guilt for not being spiritual enough. She wanted to know exactly what I did from the moment I woke each morning to when I fell asleep at night. She assumed I would have a deeply sacred and spiritual morning ritual, that I eat wholesome organic food all the time, and that I spend all day helping and healing others. She thought that because I'm a healer with some incredible spiritual gifts, and because of the work I do, and because of how happy I am, this is who I would be in my downtime. She was trying to turn herself into this perfect spiritual being and was burning herself out in the process. This idealism of spirituality was getting in the way of her realizing her own authentic journey. So many people I talk to feel this same way. It's time to flip this unsustainable pursuit of perfection on its head. Let's keep it real. My morning alarm goes off. I hit snooze a bunch of times. I drag myself out of bed and into the shower. If I'm feeling tired, I'll do a quick energy cleanse while standing under the running water. But usually it's a quick rinse and then out, dressed, make kids' lunches, get them off to school, grab a quick bite to eat. Then I get myself off to my healing room. I might see 1 or 2 clients during the day, run a meditation class for an hour, then go to the supermarket to get dinner, pick up the kids from school and head home. I then might spend an hour or so doing administrative and promotional work for my business and for my husband's business. Then I'll crash on the lounge with a cup of tea and a sweet treat, watch a couple of hours of my favourite television shows with my husband, or I'll read a good book, do a puzzle, or play with the dogs. Usually I'll get a load of washing on and hung out ready for the next day, and then it's bedtime. Here is how I weave the spiritual into my everyday. I protect my energy throughout the day if I feel like I need it. This has become second nature to me, and it will to you too with practice. I have brief conversations with my own soul and with other souls throughout the day. Sometimes there are some strong and powerful connections, but mostly it's seeing and feeling and acknowledging subtle little signs and messages that are all around me. I make time to catch up with friends and family I'm feeling drawn to at the time, and sometimes it's friends from my spiritual circles. Other times it's old friends from my childhood or sporting groups I've been in over the years, or various family members. I also make time to be by myself as often as I need to. Knowing I have this eclectic mix of personalities and energy close by is vital for balancing my overall well-being. Every evening when I'm laying in bed and ready for sleep, I'll charge myself with universal life force energy until I can feel it flowing through my body. I'll then unclench my jaw, relax my tongue in my mouth, and focus on my breathing. This evening routine will send me off to sleep within minutes, if not seconds. The healing energy then flows through me while I sleep for as long as is needed. If I'm having a tough day, or I'm feeling tired or emotional, or I'm dealing with some major life events, then I will go to extra lengths to incorporate more spiritual self-care into my day. It's knowing these techniques and having this knowledge on hand for whenever it is needed that matters. I seek the services of other local healers so I can surrender to my own healing experiences every couple of months in the care of someone else. I also try and regularly attend spiritual workshops or retreats at least a couple of times a year. But for the most part, I'm a regular, everyday person who just happens to embrace energy and spirituality and who knows some really handy tools and techniques that, over the years, have been invaluable to my health, happiness, and overall well-being. This is what you too can do for yourself. So you see, there is no such thing as a perfect life. There is no one-size-fits-all mold for happiness and spirituality. Yes, there will be times when you need to throw yourself into the deep end of spirituality, but there will also be times when you're happy just paddling in the shallows. Take what you have learned from this book, no matter how big or small, and let this knowledge weave its way into your life. Living a soulful, happy and fulfilling life should be fun. Go and grab that happiness with both hands, in whatever capacity you can. So that, what I wrote, and I wrote this book around 2019, and I just think that chapter sums up everyday spirituality so beautifully. Yes, it's a transformation. Yes, there is change, there is growth, because that's what we want, that's what we need. We can't avoid change or growth. It's inevitable. But we also want to be authentic throughout that change and throughout that growth. We want it to be fun and natural. We want spirituality to enhance our life. We wouldn't be asking these big questions and exploring these concepts if we didn't want to enhance our life in some way. And so I wanted to share that chapter with you because I really hope that it encourages you to just go do things your way. Do whatever fits, whatever feels good. It all starts with your intuition. Trust your intuition. Work on strengthening your intuition, and then that will guide you. And you will have the best time doing it.